learning the family of a 19-year-old woman who died of hypothermia inside a hotel freezer has reached a settlement agreement.
This video shows Kenneka Jenkins walking into the kitchen, but we never see her entering the freezer.
It begins with a chilling mystery. Hours of hotel surveillance footage were released, but one thing is missing. We see 19-year-old Kenneka Jenkins wandering the halls, stumbling into the kitchen. Yet the most crucial moment, her walking into that freezer, is nowhere to be found. Her mother's words cut deep.
It takes strength to open these doors, the deep freezer doors. So if she couldn't barely hold herself up, she needed a wall to support her.
The police department couldn't even help us. After they found my baby dead, they couldn't even help us. The bastards! They couldn't even help us.
The Crown Plaza Hotel in Rosemont has confirmed there's no recording of Kenneka stepping inside. Still, her family refuses to accept that explanation. They believe there's more to the story. That very night, mourners marched from a local park straight to the FBI's Chicago office, demanding federal investigators take over. The official police files showed Kenneka stumbling, disoriented, caught on different cameras. But the final steps of her life remain hidden. To her loved ones, it feels like a cover-up. Kenneka Jenkins wasn't just another name in the news. She was born on May 27, 1998, in Chicago. Raised in Lawndale, one of the toughest neighborhoods in the city, she grew up surrounded by hardship, but her spirit was always bright. Friends say she had a gift. No matter how heavy life felt, Kenneka smiled, lifted others up, and filled the room with laughter. Her bond with her mother, Teresa, was unbreakable. The two often appeared together on social media, their closeness undeniable. By 19, she had graduated high school, worked 2 jobs, and had just enrolled in nursing school. She dreamed of a career where she could care for others. But on September 18, 2017, those dreams would be cut short. That evening, Kenneka left home with her friends Monifa, Vibri, and Maya. Her mother let her borrow the family car, and Kenneka was supposed to be the designated driver. Their destination, the Crown Plaza Hotel in Rosemont. A birthday party was happening on the 9th floor, room 926. When Kenneka and her friends arrived around 1:13 a.m., the room was already overcrowded. More than 30 people squeezed into the small space, drinking, dancing, streaming live on Instagram. In one of those videos, Kenneka appeared calm, seemingly sober. At 1:30 a.m., she sent her sister, Lenore, a quick message. No one knew it then, but that would be the last time her family ever heard from her. According to her friend Irene, Kenneka only had 1 drink that night, just a cup of Hennessy. But Irene noticed something unsettling. As they sat together talking, Kenneka began swaying gently, almost as if the room itself was shifting. Irene asked if she was okay, but Kenneka brushed it off. Moments later, as she stood to walk across the room, she stumbled, bumping into a table and knocking over a lamp. Her friends rushed to steady her, guiding her to the bed before she drifted off to sleep. Hours passed. Around 3 a.m., Kenneka woke up and said she was ready to leave. Monifa and Maya agreed, and together the 3 headed into the hallway. But just as they left, Kenneka realized she had forgotten her keys and belongings inside the room. Her friends told her to wait in the hall while they quickly ran back to grab her things. It was less than a minute. But when they returned, Kenneka was gone. But the minutes stretched into an hour. Still, no sign of her. Bree, another close friend, pulled Monifa and Maya aside, questioning them. Together they convinced themselves Kenneka would return any moment, yet she never did. Between 3:30 and 4:30 a.m., hotel cameras captured her friends roaming the halls, searching desperately. They even returned to the party, pleading for help. 2 men joined the search, but Kenneka was nowhere in sight. For the first time, fear began to settle in. She wasn't just lost, she was missing. That same night, Kenneka's mother, Teresa Martin, was at home recovering from chemotherapy, battling breast cancer. Suddenly her phone rang. On the line were Kenneka's friends, their voices frantic. They told her Kenneka was gone. They had her car keys, but not her phone. Confused, Teresa immediately called her daughter's number. A friend picked up, admitting she had Kenneka's phone. Teresa's worry turned to anger. Why did her friends have her car and phone, but not her? She demanded they bring everything to her house immediately. She told them plainly, if they were real friends, they would have protected her. To her, everyone who had been in that hotel room was now a suspect. The girls explained they had tried to report Kenneka missing to hotel staff, but were threatened with police action if they caused trouble. Furious, Teresa rushed to the Crown Plaza herself. She begged the staff for help, but was met with cold indifference. The manager told her Kenneka wasn't registered as a guest and that missing persons cases were a police matter. They refused to show her any surveillance footage without a police order. Officers told her it was too early to file a missing persons report. Kenneka was 19, an adult. She could have gone anywhere, they said. But Teresa knew her daughter. At 5 a.m., unable to wait any longer, she dialed 911. Her voice shook as she explained, "My daughter came to a party here last night. Now her friends say they can't find her. She's only 19. She had my car. She's never done anything like this before." Her nightmare had only just begun. When Teresa called 911, she begged officers to check the hotel cameras. The dispatcher, however, downplayed her fears. "She's 19, they said. She's only been gone a few hours. Maybe she went off with friends. Maybe she'll come back." But Teresa knew better. She had raised her daughter. This wasn't normal. All through the day, she moved back and forth between her home and the Crown Plaza Hotel, desperately asking for answers. Yet the hotel staff and Rosemont police seemed indifferent, almost dismissive. Hours slipped away with no progress. Finally, at 12:30 p.m., Kenneka's sister, Lenore, managed to file a missing persons report. She rushed back to the hotel with proof in hand, demanding to see the footage. But once again the staff refused, claiming the report wasn't valid without a number. Almost immediately she received a call from Rosemont police, telling her the paperwork had been rejected because she hadn't signed it. Frustrated, Lenore pleaded with an officer to come down to the hotel. When he finally did, she begged him to check the surveillance cameras. He disappeared into the office for just 5 minutes, then emerged saying there was no footage of Kenneka entering or leaving the building. Lenore knew that was a lie. Cameras had caught her sister walking through the halls only hours earlier, but what could she do? With no help from police or hotel staff, she had no choice but to leave. By evening, Teresa returned with reinforcements. She brought her daughter Lenore, along with Irene. Together they launched their own search inside the hotel. Starting on the 9th floor, they went door to door, knocking, demanding to know if anyone had seen Kenneka. The hotel staff quickly intervened, warning them they were disturbing guests and threatening to call police if they continued. But the search party refused to stop. Floor by floor, they kept going. Finally, officers did arrive, but instead of focusing on Kenneka's disappearance, they turned on the family. They herded everyone into the lobby, questioning them like suspects. "Do you have records? Have you ever been arrested here in Rosemont?" Teresa was furious. "Why are you interrogating us?" she asked. "My daughter is missing. Why aren't you trying to find her?" Only then did the questions shift. Police asked about Kenneka's description, her clothes, her height, her hair. Amid the commotion in the lobby, a witness stepped forward. According to Irene, it was a trans woman who claimed she had seen Kenneka the night before, down in the lower level of the hotel, with a group of men. And just like that, the mystery deepened. 3 hours later, Teresa's phone rang. It was the Rosemont Police Department. What she heard next shattered her world. Kenneka had been found. The call came just after midnight. 2 officers reported her body was discovered in a freezer in the lower level of the hotel.
Our first, take a look behind me. As you can see, a group of activists have gathered in front of the Crown Plaza Hotel. They continue to press for answers. Rosemont police are going to show Kenneka Jenkins' mother surveillance video. Detectives have 30 hours of video to work with, but they will not release this video to the public because they don't want to compromise the investigation.
When Teresa rushed to the scene, she begged to see her daughter. At first, the lead detective told her yes, but hours passed with no answers. Then, a sergeant coldly informed her it was against protocol. Another agonizing 5 hours passed. Finally, Teresa was allowed into the kitchen area. She wasn't permitted to touch, to photograph, or to bring more than one person. What she saw was enough to break her. A white body bag resting on a stretcher, her daughter inside. The moment was captured on hotel cameras. Teresa collapsing, screaming, while officers stood by, unsure how to react. Kenneka was drunk, they said. She wandered into the freezer, got locked inside, and died of hypothermia. Nothing more. They pointed to scratches on her body and a missing shoe, explaining it away. Hypothermia can make people undress. The scratches. She probably bumped into walls while intoxicated. But Teresa wasn't convinced. She knew hypothermia caused victims to strip layers of clothing, not just remove one shoe. And when she inspected the freezer, she noticed 2 things. The door, locked from the outside. Inside, there was a white safety latch Kenneka could have easily pushed to escape. Something wasn't adding up. Even more disturbing, the camera above the freezer, which should have recorded Kenneka entering, was mysteriously turned off. Each new question only seemed to frustrate the detectives. To Teresa, it felt like she wasn't being treated as a grieving mother, but as a suspect. And then came the rush to close the case. Without waiting for an autopsy, without fingerprinting the scene, officers declared it accidental death. With nowhere else to turn, she took her fight to social media. On Facebook Live and Instagram, Teresa demanded justice. Her videos spread quickly, shared thousands of times. Soon, celebrities, bloggers, and national news outlets picked up the story. How did Kenneka Jenkins end up in a hotel freezer? The question was everywhere.
Question: how did Kenneka Jenkins wind up in a freezer?
But the death over the weekend of 19-year-old Kenneka Jenkins is casting a long shadow over the town's good news.
Obviously a tragedy. This 19-year-old gal has lost her life.
After Jenkins was discovered missing after attending a birthday party on the 9th floor of the Crown Plaza Hotel late Friday night, Her body was discovered early Sunday morning in a freezer in the basement.
Protests erupted across Chicago, calling for the case to be reopened. And in the midst of the chaos, Teresa found a new ally. A man named Andrew Holmes introduced himself as part of the Chicago PD's special unit. Desperate for help, she accepted his support. But things grew stranger. At a meeting with Rosemont police, Teresa brought her lawyer. The sergeant scolded her, calling it disrespectful. Community activist Andrew Holmes stepped in, later telling her Kenneka walked in alone and it was an accident. Meanwhile, leaders exploited Kenneka's name with fake donation pages. Teresa never asked for money, only justice. But justice grew murkier. Leaked clips showed staff acting strangely. Guests reported odd intrusions, and sleuths claimed the tapes were edited. Kenneka looked drugged, staggering through the halls. One figure, dubbed the Morgue Guy, was seen with her body, staring at the camera. He was later arrested on unrelated charges. An Instagram Live fueled conspiracies. Some swore Kenneka's screams were hidden under the music. In 2018, Teresa filed a $15 million wrongful death lawsuit. The ruling stayed the same: accident. For police, the case was closed. For the world, it was only beginning. That's where Zach Stoner, Zach TV, stepped in. Born in 1990 on Chicago's South Side, Zach became the voice of the streets. His camera gave rappers their first exposure. 2 fingers up in every photo. Peace, always. Then came Kenneka Jenkins. Zach dove into live streams, footage, interviews. He said the tapes were edited, that Kenneka was led downstairs, that it was a cover-up. On May 30th, 2018, after leaving a nightclub, Zach was ambushed and killed. He was 30. The city was stunned. Months earlier, Kenneka's uncle, Jonathan Jackson, had met the same fate. Then Stephen Ward, OT head, another voice demanding justice, also gunned down in his car. Zach's killers were even arrested, but prosecutors dropped the case under Illinois' mutual combatant law. No one punished. And then the rumors spread further, linking Kenneka's death to Selena Gomez's kidney transplant in Chicago. Organ trafficking theories went viral, but those claims collapsed when Selena's donor, Francia Raisa, went public. Still, the theories refused to die. Kenneka Jenkins was only 19. Her story still raises more questions than answers. If you want more true crime stories like this, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Rest in peace, Queen.